Okay, let's get started. Call this meeting to order. Let's do a roll call. Attendance.
Bowen. Conti. Here. Pryor.
Here.
Donahue.
Here.
LaRue, sorry, here. Ben Gilly.
Here.
Dallas Elliott.
Here. Here.
Oh, Nowacki.
Here.
And Raver.
Here. Did you hear me?
Hey Stacy, will you try and say something really quick, just so we can, we're having a hard time hearing.
Sure. Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, so it's green like she's talking.
Is mine not working? Just want to check in.
Tia, I can hear you, but can you hear me? This is Catherine.
Yeah, Catherine, I can hear you.
Can the room not hear us?
We
I
can't.
guess not. Oh, okay.
Thank you.
We are present. Thanks.
We're here.
Okay, should we move on to special business?
Sure. Special business, yes. So I just wanted to, the mayor's office has sent over some certificates of appreciation. You guys spend a lot of time in public service with no reward, and I just know that the mayor is very heartfelt in her thanks to you spending time on the committee. She's sorry she couldn't make it today. Her schedule has been fairly crazy lately, but thank you so much for your time. Scott, you can add it to your other one. But I think I have them in order, so go ahead and you can take one. But just truly, thank you so much for being part of the committee. And I think, you know, the work that we do in here is super important. And that is all thanks to you guys spending time here. So, and Doug is sorry he's missing out today too. He's not here too. So I get to be your only cheerleader. Everyone's behind you. Yeah. And then people that are online, we will get those in the mail to you as well. And thank you for your dedication. Some of you have been on this committee for a long time, so thank you.
Since the beginning.
Yeah.
This second iteration. Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes? Any comments, questions? Motion. So moved. Second. All in favor? Aye. We have some video.
Yep, we do. And this is Brenda. Sorry, I should have introduced you. Joey is on paternity leave, but I believe Brenda's gonna be with us for the long haul now. So she will be here. So do you plug that PowerPoint that we have? See the one on the right? I was glad Merlani was here because I'm not good technical help, so. Perfect. Yeah, and you can just go to the first one if you want. So, wanted to share that we, hopefully some of you got to see the mayor's state of the city. She was very excited to announce the property purchase. We're actually closing on June 18th will be our closing date. This piece of property, again, hopefully some of you saw what she talked about, but I think we've talked in here before that the mayor's vision is really to have a continual kind of Boise Foothill Trail from 55 to 21 all the way across so that someone could seamlessly, I don't know, I would not go that far, but so someone could seamlessly do this. And this is a really great piece that I'm really hoping we can make some connections to the east. It abuts our Mesa Reserve on the side. This is what we talked about in executive session last time. But just a really great piece of the puzzle, and I think everybody's been really excited about it. So thank you for recommending it, and council was fully supportive and very excited. So we're really excited about that. That will close soon. I just wanted to, we just had one of our improvement projects. This one actually has been going for the last couple of years. So some of you will remember approving it. It was before my time. But Golden Eagle Audubon Society has been working. They were actually approved in 2021 for funding, and they started river habitat improvement in 2022. And so they've been working on the Rewild project, and they just kind of finished up and got us their report. So I wanted to share some of this with you. So just to refresh your memory, this is the map of where they did a lot of work. They actually worked on 71 half-acre plots in East Boise. So they went all the way from Barber Pools. They did work in kind of we have Alta Harris, that area, IBM, Intermountain Bird Observatory, Marianne Williams, and kind of by Barber Park. So lots of different places within there, and this has been a huge undertaking for a small nonprofit over the last 2 years. So just to talk about some of their project goals when they originally came through. So they really wanted to work on invasive species management, so getting out some of the goat heads, cheatgrass, all that stuff through their Russian olives. They had bigger projects like that as well. And then replacing them with some native plant restoration. So they actually, they grew 27,000 native seedlings. And part of that was in partnership with the Native Plant Society, and they worked out of Boise Urban Garden School with a shade structure where they could house a lot of the plants out there, because sometimes that's one of the biggest challenges. So that was really great. They worked on the shoreline protection, river management, and then did litter cleanup in all their areas. The one thing that they're still working on that they did work on throughout the project was some community outreach and education. And the last thing they're trying to finalize is they will have some signs, educational signage where they did a lot of the work, and they're trying to get through our community engagement office right now before they can get the signage up. So even though the project is ended and our MOU is done with them, that's kind of the last lingering thing they have. Through before, yeah, and you can leave that up there. I highlighted little things I was just gonna tell you. They pulled over 300 bags of weeds that were removed. They installed some post and rail fence at IBO, which is Intermountain Bird Observatory. They did some fencing in Marianne Williams Park, also Barber Park. That's a lot of the issues that we have on the riverbanks is just the accessibility of people trying to get down to the water, and it really creates a hard situation. They planted all 27,000, I believe, in all that area. They did cleanups for Earth Day. They removed litter as they went through all 71 sites. Their goal was to have 100 half-acre plots done, and they just, I think 71 is great. So they did really well. And I think too, to highlight just the different groups that they worked with, they had Golden Eagle Audubon Society, they had things like Idaho Young Birders Club, a lot of private citizens, Harris Ranch Wildlife Mitigation Association. I mean, this was hundreds and hundreds of volunteers. So as we kind of go through the next chunk. So Alta Harris, they worked, as you can see, so planted 5,200 plants just in the 6 acres with 280 volunteers. So this took them 2 years. You know, that lower picture just to be able to see the difference between the two. Seeing all the plant cages they used, just all the stakes, the time that it took to really plant those native plants. Committee member Blair,
So is that on the north side of the river? And is it
on the north side of the river.
west of Holcomb or east of Holcomb,
It is,
where the bridge goes on?
it's east of Eckerd, or east of Barber
Eckerd,
Park.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so
Eckerd.
it's that, oh, I think I know where it is. Okay.
Yeah, so east of Eckerd, kind of just across from Barber Park over there. But yeah, lots and lots of work. Go to the next one. Here's by Barber Park. They did 22 plots over here. And I mean, you guys can read the numbers. It's mind blowing to me that they did 9,000 plants in this area, just in a, 11 acre area. So, go to the next one.
And the number of volunteers is super
The
impressive.
number of volunteers, and I can share this report with you online. It was really, they had 6th grade classes, Mountain View Elementary, a lot of Boy Scout, Girl Scout groups, Riverstone Elementary help, so a lot of really large groups, which in itself is a gigantic job just to manage the volunteers alone. And if any of you are familiar with Golden Eagle Audubon Society, it is a small, Martha Grayback actually sits on their board, or I think just had their last meeting last month, but it's a small volunteer run organization that does quite a bit of large impact things like this. So I think from a committee standpoint, it was really nice that we were able to fund this to give them just a little bit of push to do this project. I think that there is maybe one more, we might, and then Marianne Williams. Which, I mean, even out there in the snow, which is great. Travel Limited did a lot of work out here as well, so they really partnered and did a ton of work. But yeah, almost 6,000 plants on 8 acres with hundreds and hundreds of volunteers. Any questions that you guys have? Yeah.
How much
Member
did you
Freier. That's a great question. I believe that the beginning, I believe it was $50,000 that we gave them for this project. So just as a kind of recap too, because I know committee member LaRue and Condi are both newer, but we kind of go through, there are different things that we fund. So this was a good example of, we were able to purchase that property and do some land acquisition, and then also work on these improvement projects. We also, it's nice to be able to fund connections between all those different things we get to create. So whether it be pathways or Goddard, for example, that we did a few months ago, which is going super well. And I would also say, if anyone wants to go check out the Peasley staircase, it's coming along great. I have neighbors talk to me all the time about, so excited to be able to get down to the park. So I think it's really fun that we get to do lots of different impactful things, whether it's environment, connectivity, and even land acquisition.
So did we buy that, each of those 71 half-acre parcels? That was like,
We did not, so that was just an improvement project where we went out and it was either public land or we were working with the organization that owns the property to gain access. Yes.
Superintendent Duplessis, they kind of said, if I remember correctly, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but they sort of set the gold standard for their application. It was so detailed, it was like, wow, this is just like a no-brainer for us to do it, because it was just so impressive. Because when we first started this up in 2016, some of the applications were covered pretty haphazard. We had a lot of them, now we don't have anything. It was just like the gold standard.
nice.
It was easy to say yes.
How long is the grant period?
So we accept applications anytime.
Okay.
So they're on, if the application's on the open space website. And that comes directly to me, and then the process for that is basically, I review that, I usually reach out to the group, and then we have one of our team members do a staff recommendation. So whether that's, like in this instance, it was Kristen Nojetsky, who works in our Parks Department. Martha Grayback does a lot of the recommendations, even David Gordon. So internally, we kind of see what resources it's gonna take us to get the project off the ground, and how we can kind of supplement that with open space levy dollars as well. But it has been slower. We have worked with Boise State, so the ones that we should be finishing up soon, we finished the go-ahead mapping project last year. And then right now we are waiting for the soil carbon sequestration project. So they're doing some research through Boise State. A professor did that project and we should be getting the results from that. I think that ends in the fall. But yeah, it's, you know, I would say too, if you're out in the community and talking to people, this is definitely an opportunity if projects come up. We did the Highway 21 overpass. We've done some connections through PDS that helped with pathways. So lots of different projects. Very cool.
The city usually writes us a memo with recommendations and kind of fleshing out some of the details or some of the hiccups that might occur.
Yeah, we try to do as much homework as we can before we come to you. And I would say even with some larger projects, Goddard, for example, which will be the new linear park up on, I almost said on Capitol, across the street from Capitol High School on Goddard. And that one was a larger project that we actually met kind of even beforehand to say, what kind of questions do committee members have? So that I can come prepared. So I can pre-ask those questions and try and get some, so we're not a couple months out. Because as you guys have seen too, I think when we originally started this and would meet monthly, that was working. And right now things are slower. And even for next month, just kind of preemptively, I think it's the week of 4th of July. So we probably won't meet that week. You guys hopefully will be out celebrating and camping and doing lots of different things. And then we'll come back in August with hopefully an application. So, any other questions about anything process or?
You mentioned,
Committee member.
you mentioned maybe in August having another application. Do you know what that might be or?
I'm working on some homework to try and get it ready for you. Yeah, and we'll see. That will either be August or September. We'll see. And then we are, you know, just so this committee knows as well, and I think I've mentioned this before, we got into an agreement with Colliers to try and work proactively. We are working with John Starr and Patrick Chetwood from a park standpoint and an open space standpoint, just to try and be a little bit more proactive. So I can go out and say, these are kind of the areas that we're looking at specifically to acquire property in, whether it's for good connections, wildlife, different things like that. Property acquisition, as we've talked in this committee a lot, is just not happening the way it used to. We used to have people that would just say, hey, here you go, or, you know, I have this open piece of property. There's a lot of different development that's happening in the foothills, so trying to kind of keep up with that. And one of the ways that we are kind of doing that is working a lot closer with PDS, so that when applications come in for developments, I'm spending quite a bit of time, and again, this is outside the committee's realm, but just so you know too, spending quite a bit of time with them to talk about how we integrate open space and wildlife management, and also connectivity, so that those are at least part of these applications that are going on. So, and if there's ever an opportunity in that, you know, junction where a developer comes in and says, well, you know, I'd be interested in selling X number of acres to the city for this, that would be an opportunity for the committee to step in. So, that was all I have for updates, unless anybody has any other questions. I just, whenever a project finishes out, I want to make sure and bring it to you so you kind of have the final thing. And I will email out the report that I got from Gold Maple as well, just so you guys can see it. It's pretty interesting.
Superintendent Glasses, with the purchase of the 80 acres, what will our balance be?
That's a great question. So we will be, after that is there, I believe we are just over $2 million that's left. We were right at about 2.4, 2.3, so I think we're right there. And it's good. I mean, we're spending the money, which is great. That's what we were kind of set here to do. So it's great.
Does anybody online have any questions, comments?
there isn't. That's
No, but thank you.
fine.
Hi, this is Catherine. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I put it in the chat, but I had, I guess, two questions. Specifically, kind of regarding the project updates, I appreciate kind of hearing where things are or the wrap ups. I think we kind of miss that at times. So that was really helpful and appreciated. I just wondered if, I think we've talked about this in the past, do we have a summary document or is it all captured on the open space webpage where there's a summary of all of the projects funded out of this iteration, or?
Yeah, the website should be up to date with most of the projects that we've recently done. I have a running spreadsheet as well that I can share with everyone just to, if people are interested in what we have funded. Are you talking about presently kind of funding or just everything in history that we have funded?
I think the latter. I mean, I don't know what other committee members would like. I think we've talked about this where we've kind of forgotten about projects, and I should probably revisit the website a little bit more frequently than I do. But I just wondered if there was like an easy resource, and I also thought maybe it would be helpful for the new members of the committee just to have like more than just, you know, X number of dollars, but just a summary of the project itself too.
Yep, so I will, online is typically what we have just recently funded or currently funding. We do have a great document that we put together actually, I believe, for the mayor's office just recently that goes through kind of all the history. So I will email that out to you, and that way you guys have that, and we keep that up to date, so. And then committee member Dallas Elliott, just so I see your first question to new committee members. So I think you probably saw the email that Michelle Myers resigned her spot from the committee, and then we also brought on Holly Condi and also Emily Cooper. So I think you maybe missed the last meeting that we had, but they are our two new committee members and are super great additions to the group.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
We're in executive session.
We do not have executive session today.
I have a question about some potential lands we're looking at, so do we need to go to executive session for that?
You have specific parcels that you are interested in?
No, that we had been interested in before, or I don't think we need to go to executive session for that, do we?
Well, if we're talking about acquisition of, and Rob, are you, as I told Rob, I was like, we're not gonna need, Rob, are you still there? It's just, I'd like to ask him. So Rob Lockwood is our city attorney that we use at our case. And I may have to text him.
If need be, I can do it in the email, because that's,
Yeah, that might be better.
we don't have to worry about it in executive session.
Because I just worry if we're talking about any acquisition, even though we've talked about it before, my guess is it's probably been in executive session. And so I just want to make sure that we.
It has been, they haven't been acquired by anybody else.
Okay, yeah, so let's go ahead. I mean, I'm happy if you guys, we can just go into executive session now really quickly if you wanted to. I feel better, I would rather err on the side of going into executive
I
session.
agree.
Brenda, do you know how to pause the recording? Yeah. Okay. I really wish, Rob, are you, yeah, I'm gonna.
I have to record the reading.
Yeah, so go ahead and, yep, so go ahead and keep recording, and then, yeah, if we have a motion to go into executive session, that would be great.
We make the motion first.
I'll make a motion to go to executive session.
And Gary, I probably have to have you leave, thank you so much.
It should only take 5 minutes.
No, it's good. Sure.
Pursuant to Idaho Code 74-2061C, to acquire an interest in real property which is not owned by a public agency in Idaho Code 74
Roll call.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, Bowman, Lundy. Aye. Pryor.
Aye.
Donahue.
Yes.
LaRue. Yes. Ken Gilly.
Yes.
Dallas Elliott.
Yes.
Nowaki.
Yes.
Rayburn.
Yes.
So now you can lost the break. Really hard for you the first one. Okay.
Thank you.
Any other business?
Make a motion that we adjourn.
Yes.
The new 80 acres, do we have access to that? Or is it blocked in by something else? Is there a trail that goes through it already?
There's not a trail that goes through it already. It does abut Mesa Reserve, so we do have access into the property.
You can go on the
but we-
dirt road.
Yeah, but we do not have road or trail roads as of now. It's untouched.
That's so much. Okay, thanks.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.